This city is very different from where he has lived so far. Here, all humans coexist with Pokémon. Tim seemed very unaccustomed to this scene, because in his place very rarely people want to live with Pokémon. Pokémon is everywhere, even at the police station. A lieutenant nurturing Pokémon. Tim came here to search for information about his father's death. But the team did not get any information, and was only given the key to his father's apartment. Tim still wasn't used to seeing thousands of Pokémon roaming the city like this. When Tim entered the apartment, he was prevented by a journalist who wanted to find information about the accident experienced by his father, but Tim just left. Because he knew nothing else about his father after a long separation. When he entered his father's room, the team found a small tube. As he opened it, came out a very thick purple smoke and was inhaled also by other Pokémon. Here Tim also found Pikachu, which is his father's Pokémon. Pikachu meets the son of his master. Sudden, another Pokémon barged in. This monkey Pokémon looks crazy and raging after inhaling purple smoke that was accidentally released by Tim a few minutes ago. Pikachu and Tim try to escape from this apartment, but Pikachu can only scream and provide no help. While Tim was almost battered, attacked by a rampaging monkey Pokémon. Tim was finally able to escape through the garbage pit and tried to warn people that there was a rampaging monkey Pokémon. But the monkey Pokémon is back to his senses and acting normal. Tim was embarrassed. He initially felt uncomfortable with Pikachu, but after knowing Pikachu is his father's pet Pokémon, the team softened his heart a little and wanted to hear Pikachu's explanation. Pikachu says he believes their father is alive, and Tim must find him. Tim was very upset because all that was in his father's room was a pile of papers that gave no clue. But finally, there was one newspaper that could give them a little clue. Their father had made headlines in the newspaper. They immediately went to the headquarters of the newspaper, then met the reporter who wrote the news. They finally got the information. Their father was researching a Pokémon serum, and their father had an informant at a pier and often conducted investigations there. Even though all the clues are still unclear, but Tim just went to the dock to find information about what their father had done before disappearing. The only one that can give them information on here is the clown Pokémon. But Pokémon Pikachu doesn't even understand what this clown is saying. Very upset because these clown Pokémon don't want to talk. They need very important information. Eventually, Tim tried to use another way by pretending to do a pantomime. Tim used gesture will burn this clown Pokémon, and it turns out it scared him. Finally, this clown Pokémon gave information that the serum that his father was researching was in a round house. Of course it doesn't give any information. Finally, Tim and Pikachu continue their journey, and they accidentally find a place holding a Pokémon fight. Tim was amazed because he thought there were no more Pokémon fights like this. Gengar and Blastoise were fighting, but while being engrossed in watching the team, and the Pokémon was even intercepted. And it turned out that this tattooed person was the owner of the Pokémon who had been defeated by Pikachu. And he wants to re-challenge Pikachu. Tim only gave the condition that if Pikachu won, everyone here had to tell him all the information about the previous owner of Pikachu. Pikachu is preparing to fight, but after seeing his opponent was Charizard who was raging, his guts immediately shrank. Charizard goes straight for the attack, but Pikachu just ran around. Pikachu forgot how to use his powers, to make people confused to see his behavior. Because I couldn't bear to see Pikachu Tim go straight into the arena and stop Charizard. But the actions of Team even made the situation more lost. When the owner of Charizard also entered the arena, he accidentally broke all his serums. That purple serum can drive all kinds of Pokémon crazy in a moment. All the Pokémon around the arena became like they lost their minds and were out of control. Tim forced this man to tell him where he got the serum. Pikachu was almost wretched, but Tim swiftly saved him. Pikachu saw a fish Pokémon there, and he immediately fished Magikarp to evolve. Charizard immediately shrank when he saw Pokémon Fish evolve, and directly throws them out of the arena. Pikachu seemed to be getting desperate, and felt that their father was really gone. But a stranger came and took them to meet someone who turned out to be their father's co-worker. This man in a wheelchair says that their father is still alive using advanced hologram technology. This man in a wheelchair showed what really happened to their father. Yeah, their father was attacked by a Mewtwo and managed to save himself. Pikachu has been removed by Mewtwo. When you meet Tim, Pikachu doesn't remember anything. Pikachu and Tim break into the laboratory, where the Pokémon are used as experimental material. All Pokémon here will be developed to become the most terrible weapon in the world. They arrived at the place where Mewtwo had been locked up, but everything was destroyed because of the raging Mewtwo. Their movements have been caught by the person who owns this facility. Pokémon experiments were released to attack them. Pikachu and team successfully opened a document containing a holographic image. Find out what happened in this place some time ago. Apparently, they use Mewtwo to produce a serum that can make Pokémon go crazy for a moment. Serum is what made the Pokémon rampage when Pikachu fought Charizard last night. They kept turning back time until they got information on their father's involvement in this project. It turned out that their father contributed to catching the Mewtwo. The reason why they attacked their father when he managed to escape from this cage. When going to Pikachu, and Tim saw their friends already entangled some Pokémon that were used as experimental material here. But fortunately, they were still able to escape. When they got out, the forest seemed to be going back and forth. They could only run, trying to find a way out of the forest that kept circling. No more chance for them to feel at ease. The ground was split in two, and now they were all separated. Even Tim and Pikachu were getting cornered. In the end, they were desperate to jump over the cliff that split in two. After things calmed down, they realized that this was no ordinary forest. Pikachu was crushed by a rock until he was unconscious. Now they are in the Pokémon Torterra garden that is about to collapse. They were thrown with the rocks into the river. They quickly went to the mainland, and it seemed that Pikachu was dying. They saw a Bulbasaur passing by, and Tim tried to ask for help. Tim's sure that Bulbasaur understands what his feelings. But Bulbasaur just left. Tim was devastated because Pikachu was completely unconscious. But apparently Bulbasaur called other friends. Bulbasaur directs Tim and Pikachu to the place of the healing Pokémon so that Pikachu can be saved. They all ordered Pikachu to be placed on a rock. But after that, Pikachu was abandoned. A dying Pikachu is healed by a Mewtwo. Then they enter Tim's mind and show what really happened. It turned out that Pikachu was the one who damaged the confinement belonging to Mewtwo in the laboratory, where Mewtwo was used as test material to harm his father. But got caught again by the lab owner who wanted to utilize the power of Mewtwo for his own sake. Pikachu was very sorry because he had unconsciously endangered his own master, who was also Tim's father. He just left the team. But while on the way, Pikachu found something odd with the accident place father Tim. There's a gray ninja trap set to harm its master. Apparently, he threw Tim's father's car to save him from the gray ninja trap set by his own boss. Mewtwo is captured, used by Howard to serve as a source of his power. Howard managed to create a tool to put his soul and mind into the body. Now his power is in Howard's control. Tim feels very upset. It turns out that the person he trusted very much was the mastermind of all crimes against Pokémon. Also the mastermind of his father's accident. Not only that, Howard also prepared his creation serum that can make all Pokémon lose their consciousness, then go crazy. Howard, the villain who has mastered the body, has an obsession so that all humans can enter the Pokémon body, so that Pokémon powers they can have. Now all Pokémon have merged with humans. Pikachu tries to stop Howard from taking the body. Pikachu, who managed to regain his electric power, tried to stop all the chaos created by a violent man who was riding a Meowth fish. Pikachu really struggled against the Meowth. Tim is still trapped in the room of the person who controls the condition. There he is being attacked by Pokémon Ditto, which can transform into anyone. Meanwhile, out there Pikachu is still overwhelmed by the Meowth who lost control of his body. But it seems like the problem facing Tim is even more severe. Because Ditto, which is the result of genetic experiments, can continue to turn into any Pokémon. Tim can still use the crazy Pokémon serum behind it, then spray it on Ditto. Pikachu, that will be finished off by criminals who control the mind of Mewtwo. Pikachu can't beat a Mewtwo? But Tim immediately removed Howard's mind control device connected to the Mewtwo. Now that he can control himself again, Pikachu is also saved. He would pay for all the trouble he made when his mind was controlled by Howard. all the serums that made Pokemon go crazy get wiped out, and the magic that unites humans and Pokemon is eliminated. Everyone was back to normal, and Howard, who made all the mess in the Pokemon world, was caught. Mewtwo also said a surprising thing, that the father who was looking for by Tim had been in Pikachu's body. Mewtwo inserts Tim Father's soul into Pikachu's body. They will be able to meet again safely. Now I realize that hatred for humans is wrong. Tim also returned to live with his father and Pikachu.